Okay. Uh, I don't normally do videos like this. I haven't really been paying attention to things like Nuxanor, like as a reaction based thing. I have been watching his thing for a while. I know all about his his beef with Hassan. I know all about that because Nuxanor is Jewish and he's not a big fan of how Hassan views that Jewish people are the problem in the Middle East. Which, I mean, I can get it. I can respect it. You know, if somebody was going after the people of my uh, religion, I wouldn't be too satisfied either. I wouldn't be happy at all. The thing is that I don't normally do this thing, and his is a lot more politically motivated as well because uh, that's all this is the whole Hamas and Palestine and Israel. It's very political, and I don't talk about that shit. But I've been keeping up with this because it's a bit funny, and I don't like Hassan either. I think he is way too far in one direction, and he doesn't try to look at anything from another perspective aside from his own. It's like, if you don't agree with me, then you're part of the problem. I don't subscribe to that kind of mentality. It's like, live and let live. If you have an opinion, fine, that's your opinion. But you're not going to tell me that how I feel is wrong when how you feel is right. And also, I'm not a fan of Hassan is because uh, he actively called for the assassination for somebody, and he got a 1-day ban when other VTubers show literally just their hips. And I can't, why can't I move my character? Why is it not letting me grab the character? This is weird. It's not letting me grab my model. One moment. Yellow lock button. I didn't even know that was clicked. All right, so but as I was saying, like literally, they show this right here, the hips, and they're considered. Twitch will just straight up ban them for 2 weeks to a month. But Hassan actively calls for the assassination of a sitting senator, and all he gets is a 24-hour ban on a day he doesn't even stream. And that's where my problem lies, is that that's bullshit. Why would they allow that? Why would they allow him to come back on after, if I remember correctly, it wasn't even 24 hours. It was literally like 10 total hours or 13 total hours before they were like, oh, you can have your video, you can have your account back. I'm like, what the fuck? You're banning VTubers because they're showing hips, but you're allowing this guy to stream again after what he's done. So I left Twitch. It's why I'm on YouTube right now. I left Twitch back when that happened, and I have not been back on Twitch since. And I'm not gonna go back because it's clear they have a bias to people they like. So we're gonna check out the Nuxanor video, see what's going on, because this isn't just about Hassan. I think in this video you got iDubbbz, you got Ludwig, you got a few other creators as well. I want to check this out.
Do you know where we are up to right now?
Like Hassan is 700% done now.
Hassan is 700% done now. Well, not actually Hassan, but the entire orbit. All right, so we're not directly talking about Hassan.
Last time I checked, it was like 400 or 500.
Orbit of the
It jumped
that
quite a
Hassan
bit.
Has gathered together.
It was like 10% every time he posted.
A lot of idiots, including Ludwig, who decided to pop up out of nowhere and took his career. So this is gonna be a crazy video. We're getting some Hassan, some orbiters, some retards. It's a good day. So I wanted to show you a couple of clips before we dive into the meat and potatoes. But this is crazy.
You see people that are also now taking advantage of this new permission structure. Don't immediately fucking behave like a gatekeeper or a hipster, okay? I say this as someone who has suffered unimaginable career penalties for this.
Oh my god!
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. You got Twitch wishing you happy birthday and banning you for one day on a day you don't stream. I highly doubt you've suffered as much as anybody else, especially those who are small-time streamers who have actively been committed to streaming, who are trying to make streaming not only a passion, but a job that they can do. So, like, I highly doubt that.
No! I cannot believe the unimaginable career penalties this poor retard is suffering.
Okay? It is no accident.
Why aren't you at work?
You know, I have not been invited to a single fucking award show or
It's Monday. Why aren't you at work?
Keeps crying.
anything like that. And this is nothing. This is ultimately inconsequential. Okay? Tremendous amount of revenue.
I cannot believe Hassan Piker, who supports the murder of babies who might have had sex with children at diddy parties and brothels,
What the fuck?
supports every terrorist organization he could think of, as long as they kill civilians. I can't believe that he's not being invited to places anymore. No!
Cast aside, losing a third of my audience initially after October 7.
He did not lose a fucking
I was about to say, I don't think
he literally grifts and profits.
I don't think he's lost viewers that much. I think he's actually gained viewers. Like, an extreme group of people are the ones who watch his videos, and I think he's pulled in more viewers. I think he's just trying to get some sympathy points because people have finally realized he's kind of a piece of shit.
Profits off of a war in the Middle East. That's his entire career.
But none of that is meaningful, okay? That is all utterly meaningless as opposed to using the existing platform that I had to speak the truth every single day unconditionally.
That's true. He just...
I don't believe he's been speaking the truth. He's been speaking his opinion. I think he's been debunked most of the time he's been speaking. Like, he genuinely believes that everybody in Palestine is an innocent, freedom fighter, which is not the case. They literally parachuted into Israel on October 7th. That's not freedom fighting. That's literally going off and seeking a conflict.
Saved Gaza. It's true. When Gaza was saved by Hassan. The ADL had other thoughts. The ADL is the Anti-Defamation League. I don't like them, for the record. I do not like them. But what can I say? What can I say? So Hassan makes a tweet saying there's no comparison between Israel and Hamas. One is a resistance comprised of orphan soldiers born into a 77-year occupation. The other is an ethno-religious supremacist apartheid state with nukes doing a
Israel has existed for thousands of years. It used to be called Judea, like 3,000 years ago. It has been under occupation multiple different times from multiple different entities. You have the Egyptians occupied it, the British occupied it, other people have occupied it, but it has always been considered Judea by the Jewish community.
Genocide backed by the USA. I don't know how you could say one sentence and have so many unbelievable mistruths, but that's fucking crazy. So anyway, he supports terrorists, and the ADL is like, when you openly support a murderous, anti-Semitic, US-designated terrorist organization calling for violence against all Jews, you minimize our fear and grief and embolden extremists. It's time that all public figures and news outlets call out this support for terror and cease praising and platforming Piker. Now, I don't love the ADL, but it would be
I've never even heard of the
hilarious
ADL.
if Hassan faced massive repercussions for supporting terrorist organizations, so what am I going to do? What am I gonna do? I actually have kind of find that pretty funny. One thing Hassan doesn't like talking about is how the latest U.S. Israel distribution center in central Gaza fed 1.6 million meals to people in Gaza. Who, right? Hassan's crying that they're starving in Gaza. But don't worry, because the U.S. Israel distribution center fed 1.6 million people, and the Hamas terrorists didn't steal this food, unlike the previous distribution network. Hassan, though, nope. The Hamas genocidal terrorists that murder Jews and Palestinians alike, they're the good guys, according to Hassan. And also, yes, people waiting in line for free food is definitely the exact same thing as the Holocaust, according to Hassan. Probably the worst political commentator of all time. I can't believe the aid trap is happening. The trap where they give food to civilians. What a trap. The Hamas terrorists do not like when people get...
So it's considered a trap to feed people? I mean,
food, so it's quite the trap. If you want to see details, you should
God, I
definitely
don't like Hassan.
check out.
He's an
my
idiot.
Hassan Piker is 530% fucked. They cover this in great detail. But my favorite
I was at
thing is
530,
the Hassan
okay.
Cope. He's been going on Discord, literally shitting himself and crying constantly. If you're a YouTube content creator who hasn't said dick about Palestine...
Hang on, I want to read this myself. If you're a YouTube content creator who hasn't said dick about the Israel-Palestine... I'm sorry, about Israel-Palestine, and you're only now starting to let your critical position on Israel be known after 19 months of genocide, not a genocide, since it's no longer going to cause you severe career penalties. I didn't talk about it because it's not what I talk about. My content is just about having fun making entertaining videos, reacting to, like, I even make history videos where I react to history things. Like, some of the first videos I streamed on Twitch, I think it was on Twitch, I'm sorry, not Twitch, on YouTube, I think it was YouTube, was history videos about America, you know, the assassination of JFK. But I mainly do like gaming videos. Like the other day I was yesterday I tried and honestly failed to stream Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 from my PC, but it didn't want to work for me. So I spent like most of my hour or some odd streaming with my buddy was spent literally just doing nothing but fighting with Discord on OBS. But I don't talk about stuff like this because I don't talk about politics. Politics is honestly one of the things that can ruin channels, in my opinion. Now, if that's like been your whole setup, is like your whole like you started your channel based around talking about politics, then fine. That's your whole prerogative. But considering that this has been like an ongoing beef between Nux and Hassan, and it's been going on for like a lot of videos, I just think it's kind of funny that I wouldn't want to do this. So that's why I'm reacting to it right now. But this is probably going to be one of the only times I talk about a video. I make a video or a stream involving anything that comes close to politics. Aside from the very first stream where it was literally the election of Donald Trump, and I had fun with it, just laughing, making fun of things. I even cracked open an Orange Crush, saying that we now have our Orange Crush president back. And I just joked about it. I said, put away your NyQuil, because that was the joke about Joe Biden, was he was sleepy Joe Biden. And I cracked open an Orange Crush. That was like literally a joke I made. I was building up entirely to that from the moment like the morning started to Trump putting his hand on the Bible and taking the oath of office was just a joke around. And I did make some certain comments about things like, you know, the I think it was the Navy choir, which I thought was really good, like the midshipman choir. The individuals, you know, the celebrities, the billionaires, the politicians that were there experiencing it. I was just making fun of everything that was there. I wasn't even done. Severe penalties, and you spent any moment finger wagging at people who have been correct the entire time. No one's been correct about anything. There are people that are 100% Palestinian and people that are 100% Israeli. I just don't care. And I'm going to say that right now. I don't fucking care. Because I want to have fun on this platform. I want to just have a good time. but nobody's been correct the entire time. And I know the videos, like Nux's videos flipped. I think I don't know why I did that, but I don't really want to fix it right now. And Hassan's been correct the least amount of times. He's never been correct the entire time. I think he's been wrong more times than he's been right. I think 70 to 80% of what he says is wrong. I will absolutely come after you. I don't fucking care. I'm not even on your radar. But sure, come after me. Get people to come and click on my videos. Get people to come and click on my streams. It gets me more traffic. If you come out with a critical position without trying to both sides, both sides it, that's weird framing, then great, welcome to the fold. So trying to both sides it, basically, like, I'm guessing what he's trying to say there is you have to pick a side. You can't be, oh, well, Israel or Palestine, you know, well, here's the thing about Israel, here's the thing about Palestine, and say something positive about one, or say something positive about both, and then be negative about both on the other. You have to pick a side. He's a fucking idiot. Nothing is black and white. There's always a gray.
And you're now starting to let your critical position on Israel be known after 19 months of genocide. That's right, 19 months of genocide. That's right, hell yeah. Israel gets attacked? That's a genocide. Since it's no longer going to cause you in severe career penalties when you spent any moment finger wagging at people who have been correct the entire time, I will absolutely come after you. If you come out with a critical position without trying to both sides it, then great welcome to the fold. Hassan is going to be going after leftists for not being as pro-terrorist as him. And also, this is Hassan Piker's fucking friend, Taylor Lorenz, a journalist.
Never heard of her.
Hassan all the time, and this is a tweet that she made, which absolutely puts everything in.
Young people today also correctly recognize that 9/11 didn't happen in a vacuum. It was a direct response to / consequences of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. The more you know about what the U.S. has done in the Middle East, the more you understand why many believe the U.S. deserved 9/11. That's a fucking shitty take. We weren't even the first ones in the Middle East. Russia and like the UK were there first.
Into perspective, young people today also currently recognize that 9/11 didn't happen in a vacuum. It was a direct consequence of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. The more you know about what the U.S. has done in the Middle East, the more you understand why many believe that the U.S. deserved 9/11. Hassan's biggest glazer also thinks the United States deserved 9/11. That you cannot make this up. You can't make this. The retards are actually flocking together on this one. Like, this is truly incredible. It's actually
3,000 innocent people who have nothing to do with America's foreign policy deserve to die. Do you not understand how fucked that is? These were innocent civilians who were just going to work. They hit the Twin Towers where most of the casualties lie. What did those towers represented? Nothing in the Middle East. It was just, we're going to attack it because it's a symbol of America. Literally, none of them had anything to do with foreign policy in the Middle East. It was just, this is a good target that will hurt the Americans. There were 4 plane crashes. The 2 that hit the Twin Towers, 1 that hit the Pentagon, and 1 that crashed in a field in Pennsylvania, which I think their target was the Capitol building. But the citizens on the plane, the American citizens, actively fought back and said that we're not going to let them attack our country. And they sacrificed themselves to stop that attack. But those people have nothing to do with American foreign policy. Even those in the Pentagon, they're just following orders. None of them have anything to do with American foreign policy in the Middle East. Not a damn soul did. So that argument, it doesn't pass the smell test. It doesn't even hit the ground. So it's bullshit to say that.
This is even happening. Like, journalists all these fucking people.
That's not a journalist. That's a political
streamer
activist.
in the United States of America has collabed with journalists to come together and strangle their schlong at 9/11. It's actually insane. So, this is a clip from Asmongold where Hassan absolutely crashes out, and I had to show this clip because it's funny as fuck. So I'm going to show this to you, and then we're going to get into Ludwig.
Asmongold does cause real PR problems. Let's look at Asmongold on the news side. All we wanted to do was play video games. Streamers such as Asmongold have more influence than ever. What are they really?
Let's look at him on the news side. Shows the news, and every single news article about Asmongold is glazing him.
Saying.
No.
I love how he pulls it up and it immediately disproves his point.
Yeah.
This is a positive post.
I mean, that's Hassan. He's a propagandist. He's literally a propagandist. He will look at something, evidence against him, and he will be like, no, actually, this is evidence for me. He read the UN report that said that women got raped on October 7th, and he'll be like, picture it didn't happen, bro.
This is a positive post. This was a negative article. This is a positive post. Another positive post. Asmongold searches past Nat. This is another positive post.
Websites, and it doesn't matter.
Another positive post.
Let's look up Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll tell you what's negative PR for the fucking platform and what's positive PR for the platform.
All right, let's do that.
So, New York Post saying Hassan Piker...
And remember, Hassan gets journalists to write puff pieces on him. Right, so he's looking up puff pieces on himself that he got made for himself. All right, like you have to realize how retarded this is.
Back on Twitch after being...
And the news articles are all against him because he's a PR nightmare that supports terrorists. Yep.
The New York Post is not a...
Ooh, Hassan Piker suspended Twitch after discussing a left manifesto behind Israel embassy staff shooting.
reputable outlet. It's
okay. So let me get this straight. You Google my name, and it's a bunch of people talking about me. The majority of them are positive. Well, it's actually just a lot of people talking about how popular I am. So he had to get off that page. He didn't want to look at that.
No.
And then you go over.
I mean, to be honest, I think Hassan was probably pleasuring himself. The reason why you can't see his hand on screen is because he's too busy pleasuring himself at the thought of Asmongold.
Okay.
Great news!
Now
Your account has a level, and you get free daily cases for it every day. Hire your level.
What?
to
I completely forgot that this channel is not on YouTube Premium. My other channel is on YouTube Premium.
Hassan looking himself up. There's a bunch of negative articles, but they're all fake. Well, these aren't real websites. It's not real.
No, I was talking about like mainstream.
Hassan comments on Twitch ban. Hassan Piker suspended for Twitch after discussing alleged manifesto behind Israeli staff shooting.
Stream. I'm talking about fucking mainstream news outlets. Aftermath is...
Oh, here's another one. Fox News. Far left streamer.
Oh no, Fox News, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Piker suspended from Twitch for broadcasting DC shooting suspects manifesto. Here's another one here. The Guardian. Look at this here. Why Hassan Piker's U.S. customs story kicked off a backlash.
Oh, that's negative.
A lot of these are negative.
So you have to understand, like New York Post is a tabloid, and
New York Post. Yeah, that one doesn't count.
Fox News is
it's all fake.
Or Fox News doesn't count. He immediately closes the screen and goes to terrorists. Oh, what are we even doing with this guy? He immediately closes the tab, and the next tab is just terrorists.
Yeah, it's one of
right-wing
it's one of those, you know. Oh, if you're talking bad about me, you're not real.
Yes, I sometimes have
all the negative news against Hassan. Oh, that's all fake news. The positive news for Hassan. That's all.
Positive's
that's all
real.
real
The
news.
positive's the
PR
real
for the
news.
platform when I get banned for certain shit.
Okay, so then I'm right. Okay.
But ultimately, that doesn't move the needle in any.
So whenever you do something wrong, it doesn't matter if I do something wrong. It does.
Yeah,
And you know what the
it's called retard syndrome.
funny thing is he's probably right to some degree because a lot more people are talking about me.
That's true. Asmongold is a lot more famous than Hassan. Hassan is much closer in size to me. I know people don't actually want to believe this because I'm just some irrelevant blue retard on the internet that Hassan talks about constantly. Bro, Hassan can't keep my name out of his mouth, bro. He doesn't stop talking about. Look at this guy. He doesn't stop talking about me.
About me being like Hassan is 700% done now.
Yeah.
Saying that he wants to sue me for slander for calling him a pedophile.
Makes sense to me. It is slander. He called me a pedophile. But anyway, he doesn't stop.
I don't know
yapping,
the
this
full
guy.
What he should have done is
depth
that
of
you should have searched this
Nuxanor
off on your
Hassan's
second
thing.
monitor. They need to make the next Black Ops about stopping September 11th. And the end scene is that you actually stop the planes and you stop September 11th. They roll the credits. After the credits of the game are over, it goes back to the game. You look up at the towers and they still fall down.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually unironically an awesome idea. That is actually such a banger.
The only time Hassan
Stupid shit.
agrees with Asmongold is when Asmongold talks about how 9/11 should happen in a video game. Are we watching the same thing?
idea. Like, I forgot that I was angry at him.
If Future fans.
Are we on the same page? How
Far left.
is that not the most insane thing in the world? That's got to be the most insane shit of all
Outrageous.
time. So anyway, more Pegasus dropped a video making fun of Ludwig and the rest of the Hassan retards. So retard Avengers assemble. Let's go. Let's make fun of some retards. That's what we do here. Definitely subscribe for more retards.
I
But it's a good time.
have not
We got a
watched
lot of
Ludwig
drama updates
Let's
today.
go.
Ludwig's
in, like,
massive
3
trouble
years.
right now.
No.
The only thing I paid
cannot
attention to
believe
about
Idol's in
him-
trouble after
the only thing I paid attention to about him was like when he did like Pokemon and all that stuff, and it was a big thing for a couple of years to do Nuzlocks. So that's really the only thing that I was really paying attention to Ludwig about. Other than that, haven't paid attention to him at all.
actually allegedly taking 30.
Like, there's some people I don't understand how they're so big and popular. Like, Ludwig is one of those. Like, he was big and popular before he made his Pokemon game and everything like that. He was just one of the most popular people on the platform. Don't understand why. I had never heard of him beforehand. And when I finally hear about him, he's got millions of followers. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
34% of the profit after claiming he didn't make any money and he didn't actually have any money for cancer.
He just got exposed for taking 34% of the
No.
profits of a supposed
No.
charity event.
Taking 34% of a charity event is insane.
And misleading people who were buying the tickets.
I cannot believe the leftist to grifter to scammer pipeline actually is real.
Ludwig
Allegedly.
responded somehow defending iDubbbz.
There's no way. I didn't see the Ludwig clip. There's no way this is true. Oh God, Ludwig! How does he sit without a spine like that? I'm actually shocked.
Kind of expected from Hassan's best buddy who literally quit his commentary channel just so he doesn't have to criticize.
Yes, a lot of people don't know this, but he had an entire commentary channel getting millions of views, and he scrapped the entire channel, in my opinion, because he wanted to keep glazing Hassan, and that's just not viable, because Hassan is a terror-supporting potential child fucker.
Hassan. Asmongold responded to the situation. Ethan responded along with Harley, one of the fighters.
Yeah, Harley the goat. Yeah.
Isn't
He
Harley,
set up his room to...
Isn't Harley, oh shit, what was the name of that channel? It's an OG, it's like an OG popular channel on YouTube. Where they made like, he and his friends would make insane food. Like, it was like gigantic portion sizes of food. Oh, I can't remember the name of the channel.
Look like Hassan's. No! He set up his room to look exactly like Hassan's. That's crazy.
In other news, artist BB No Money recorded a music video with Asmongold and decided to censor him out of the video, citing his beliefs. Now,
Yep.
people are pointing out the hypocrisy being friends with Hassan.
Hi, I'm People.
And his video has more dislikes than likes now.
The only thing I know about Baby No Money is the joke being BB Nose on like X from when I was on X. That's the only thing I know about this guy.
Incredibly based. Fuck him. He's a grifter, and his career will die. Listen, I don't wanna sit here in my chair laughing from the sidelines, but that's unfortunately exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, to quote Jordan Peterson,
You will be held higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob that you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you.
that's all I had to say.
Alrighty, subscribe for 700K. Legend says that if you watch every episode of the series,
It
Ludwig
seems like
grows
there's-
a spine.
It seems like there's more YouTubers now, especially if they're like controversy based, like, YouTubers. They're making more about Hassan Piker than anybody who's making anything positive about him. What the fuck is that thing?
That's a myth. That's not real. That's not happening. Definitely subscribe, though. Absolutely. I'll link him in the description. Subscribe to me, too. We're making fun of retards. It's important.
Leaves Anissa and Hassan stop supporting terrorists. Okay, let's begin
Sure.
with iDubbbz being exposed.
So with the Creator Clash event, they were going to take and pocket 34%. No wonder this thing had problems. The majority of
insane.
these charity events are not.
Charity events are a thing where it's like, honestly, in my opinion, if you're going to hold an event, donations for that event should not go to you. Not a penny should go in your pocket. Every single cent should go to whatever organization you are having your charity for. That is in my opinion. Now, if somebody is donating specifically to you, then fine. They're donating to you specifically. But if they're donating to the organization that you're promoting, you should not get a cent.
Not completely charity events. 34% of
Yeah, it turns out he used charity. And by the way, I don't want to be rude here, but I've been saying the entire time that iDubbbz has been standing on the necks of kids with cancer to make believe he was a good guy and grift. And I was just completely correct. I was just completely right. It's not easy to be as correct as often as I am, but it keeps happening.
profit is an insane piece. Like, think about this, right? You have probably over 100 people working on this event, and that's the pizza, right? The pizza's got to be divided between 100 people, and also the fighters and everybody else.
And the kids that have cancer that they're supposedly raising money for.
Well, the money that's earned, like, someone buying a ticket for an event, then yeah, it's like, okay, well, the event's going to take a certain percentage, and then the fighter's going to take a certain percentage, and then, they got to pay people to do certain things, clean up, vendors and everything like that. Yeah, that I understand. But any money that's made that's going towards, after that's going towards a charity event should go 100% to the charity. Not a cent should go to anybody else.
Right? It's a charity event.
And they're taking 34% of the pizza. That's a lot of fucking pizza, guys.
So I mentioned this last video, but I find it to be completely unacceptable. I, as well as many other viewers, were under the impression that the event was mainly for charity, and that when you buy a ticket, that money is going to charity. But actually, it was...
So, when you buy a ticket, I think that it should be, specifically for this, just for this, a percentage of the ticket that's purchased should go to the charity. Because the promoters, the vendor that's hosting it, they need to make some money. Because don't forget, you got lights there, you got people that are probably going to want to eat that are going to go there. They need to be able to pay for that. But it should not go, especially 34% should not go towards all that. Like, most of this it's a charity event, so most of it needs to go to the charity. And any money that's made after the tickets are bought should go to the charity, unless it's for certain things like, oh, I want to buy a bag of popcorn, I want to buy a medium, a 30-ounce cup of soda. Yeah, that's for the vendors. But if there's like a box that says donate to charity and people throw money in that, all of that should be going to the charity.
It's going to iDubbbz's greedy pockets.
Imagine being greedy and calling out a Jew. It's not easy to be iDubbbz today.
Apparently, bro has empathy for everybody except kids with cancer. And
look, man, turns out you keep going, and I'm just correct every time. It's not easy to be as right as often as I am. These are all spineless, grifting, wimp retards, right? Hassan is a gigantic socialist that lives in his fucking $3 million house wearing $5,000 shoes in his $300,000 car. Socialism is a Gucci bag, for real, for real.
Yes. The only thing I can state about is that socialism doesn't benefit anybody at the bottom. It benefits everybody at the top. It's why I'm not a supporter of Bernie Sanders. He was literally a couch surfer before becoming the mayor of a city, and then went from being a mayor to a senator to a prospective presidential nominee. And his whole idea is that socialism works, but it's like, it only works if you are the 1%, which he is.
He does with his fucking leftist grift going on. He's out there fighting for kids with cancer and taking 34% of the cut, allegedly. Like, dude, it's the entire squad. The whole squad are just complete grifter freaks that are supporting terrorists.
honestly, I find
Actual retard Avengers, and they're 700% fucked according to Hassan.
it disgusting that you're multi-millionaires and still trying to make a giant profit from charity events while also using it as a shield from any criticism.
Since you're already playing games anyway,
Oh,
why not
shit.
earn some free rewards while you're at it? All you need to do is download Buff, let it run in the background.
Shut up.
How dare you criticize me? I'm raising money for kids with cancer.
I think I need to
After
go back to my
34%
other
of the
channel,
money.
the one that
You're
has
ruining my
premium.
charity event by calling me out with all this drama. Well, turns out it's not much of a charity event if you're pocketing 1/3 of it. And the fact that they prioritize themselves over the charity is just despicable, and just not letting people.
So let's do the math. Whatever the amount that is claimed to be donated to that charity, you need to multiply that number by 0.34. And that's what went into his pockets. So if they say, oh, well, they made, the charity made $1 million. Well, let's do the math right now. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. 1 million times 0.34. That's 340,000. So you need to you need to subtract 1 million from 340,000. That means that the charity organization only got $660,000. So no, they didn't get $1 million. They got just a little more than $500,000.
People even know clearly where the money is going. And it might have been in the 15th page of the terms and conditions or whatever to avoid legal liability, but absolutely nobody is reading that shit, and they know what they're doing. It was Ludwig
True.
responded saying he doesn't
Okay, this is crazy. I didn't know Ludwig got involved.
think that Ian and Issa.
Oh, look at that. $1.3 million. Ludwig doesn't think Ian and Anissa scammed CC, calls that the worst faith interpretation. If an event is successful and raised $1.3 million for charity, their first go around, their big plan isn't, oh my god, next time we're gonna make money. Here's the problem though. They didn't make $1.3 million. Like I said, you need to get rid of a certain amount. So let's do the math. 1,300,000. No, that's 13 million. I'm sorry. Times 0.34 because they're pocketing 34%. They pocketed $442,000, which means that this charity event didn't make $1 million. They didn't make $1.3 million. They didn't even make $1 million. They made just shy of $860,000. And this is supposed to be from a multimillionaire who has millions of fans who, if they all donated $1, if he has like 5 million fans and they all donated $1, then yeah, they would have broken $1 million. But they didn't make $1.3 million. They made just under $860,000 for charity. Because $400,000 went into iDubbbz's pocket.
Scam Creator Clash calls that the worst faith interpretation.
Funding it through...
No way, dude. There is no way Ludwig came out here to defend the terrorist supporters. Like, you can't make this up, bro.
various sponsorships, but mostly ticket sales and...
So it was a scam? I feel like that has to be like the worst faith interpretation. I think if an event is successful and raises $1.3 million for charity on their first go-around...
But they didn't. That's the thing. They didn't make $1.3 million. They might say that $1.3 million was donated, but they didn't make $1.3 million. They didn't even make $900,000.
Their big plan isn't like, oh my god, and this next time we run it, we're gonna make, money for ourselves. Now that we've raised $1.3 million for charity, now we get to make some money of our own. You would just take the $1.3 million on the first go around.
This is the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Why would he scam people the second time if he could have just scammed people the first time? So, obviously, not a scam. What are you talking about? First of all, for all you know, they took 34% of the $1.2 million in the first Creator Clash. Second of all, they claimed that all the money was going to charity. Then after the event, they said they didn't have enough money. No money went to charity because they didn't generate enough money. And then it turns out that allegedly they took 34% of what actually did come in. So all of that shit that...
So wait, whoa. They're saying that not a penny went to the charity, even though they raised $1.3 million. So not only did the charity, according to this, not get a penny, but there's $1.3 million that went somewhere else. We know where $400,000 went. It went into iDubbbz's pocket. Where did that $858,000 go? Who took that? Who the fuck took that? Like, that's the big question here. That is insane.
that happened didn't even go to the kids with cancer that they were supposedly raising money for.
Like 1.3 mil is a lot of money, bro. That's
Bro, but here they're not running away. They planned on doing this for every creator clash. Dude, okay, I'm actually like floored that this could possibly be a real human being's opinion. I'm literally floored. This has got to be the most.
So they didn't. The charity didn't even make 1.3 million. They didn't make a penny, according to what I'm hearing. There was literally 440,000 that went into iDubbbz's pocket, and then 858 million that went somewhere else, not to the charity. What the fuck? What happened there?
Most retarded thing ever in my entire life. Dude, they did a Creator Clash 2. They were planning on doing a Creator Clash 3. They were going to do this every year and take 34% every year instead of doing it once and being called a scammer. What is even going on?
hella bread. So I feel like you're just not, if you're looking at it in a vacuum, yeah, I think you could call that a scam, but you're ignoring the...
You don't need to look at it into a vacuum because there is no vacuum. Nobody in that charity made money. The charity itself didn't make money. Other people did.
Context of the first one, that was hella successful.
Dude, how deep down your throat is Hassan's Schmeat to say, listen, it's a scam, but like, he could have scammed people worse in the past. Instead of doing like a gradual scam every year, he could have done like one big scam before instead of many little scams. So like, since he could have done one big scam, I really feel like the gravity of the situation is so
fucked.
different. That's the sound of Hassan's Schmeat in his mouth.
Right now.
Is money paid not towards charity until event costs are paid? Yeah, but presumably.
Oh, so first it pays all the event costs, and then they take 34%. Cool. And then they give money to the fighters. Cool.
Okay, so the event is what took the other $800,000. Like the venue and the people a part of it, they took the money. So it's a scam in that they claimed it was for charity, but the charity didn't make a penny.
Because where else
The
is
fuck?
the money coming from? And I guess, do you guys consider that a scam?
Well, everyone that bought tickets assumed that the money that they were paying was going to kids with cancer. It turned out money did not go to kids with cancer, as far as I'm aware. And instead, the money went to iDubbbz's pocket and his prostitute wife. Yep.
To me, that makes sense.
Right.
That's how it should operate.
Okay, now I understand why Ludwig quit commentary.
Yep, he ended his channel because it's really hard to glaze people so obviously...
Okay, I didn't know he ended his channel. Like, hang on, let me just see this real quick. Ludwig has 6.7 million subscribers. Well, he's still getting views. I mean, they're breaking, like, a good chunk of them are breaking 1 million. I guess he just doesn't do, like, I think it's, yeah, he streamed 17 hours ago on YouTube. So it's not like he stopped streaming altogether. I guess he just, what they're saying is he just stopped doing that kind of, those kind of videos. Because it's clear he doesn't know what he's talking about.
In the wrong, yep. That's why he ended his commentary channel.
He probably has the worst takes on planet Earth.
I mean, only when those bad takes involve his buddies. Only when it's the Hassan squad. When the retard Avengers are under fire, bro cannot make a statement to save his life.
First off, why do you bring up the first event and not the last event that lost $250,000 for charity?
Yeah.
That's even worse! You host an event, and not only does it not make any money, but it loses money. The charity lost money. That makes no sense.
The thing is, I don't care if you raised $1 million the first time. That's like saying, guys, I did a good thing one time. Why would I ever do anything bad now? Look, guys, I donated a charity once before. Why would I ever scam you now? It's completely stupid
A
logic.
lot of people don't know this, but Logan Paul actually donated money to a suicide prevention charity right before he did a gigantic crypto scam, allegedly. So, like, why would he give the money to the
but Logan
charity
Paul, the Paul
if he
brothers
was
are kind of
gonna scam
scummy.
people? Right, guys?
logic. And in my opinion, 1 million is very less with the amount of huge creators that they actually had. Their business plan completely sucked because with that many creators of that level, you can literally live stream on your ass and raise way more money. You don't even need a big event. In fact,
right.
you want to know the
Yeah.
truth? They probably could have raised way more $1 million if they didn't just throw this useless
Yeah, honestly, independently, if all these big streamers, YouTubers, content creators, you name it, streamed a charity event from their couch because of how much viewers they get, how much money they make, they could have easily made that charity a shitload of money and not had to worry about paying a venue for some arbitrary boxing match.
expensive event and throw a bunch of random parties and
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this. They actually threw galas and parties afterwards, and IDEP said the reason why they needed to throw all of these parties.
So that's where all the money went. Over $1 million that was supposed to go to charity. A venue took some of that money, and then parties took the rest of it. That wasn't going into the creators' pockets.
When they didn't make any money for charity. The reason why they needed to throw all these parties was for the mental health of the fighters. It was so important for the fighters to have mental health and stuff.
shit like that. Also, Ludwig unironically said, why didn't they just take the 1 million in the first event? Is he stupid on purpose or is this a disability?
No, dude, it's insane. It's insane to have takes this bad. Like, dude,
There's
I
Charlie.
don't understand, bro.
I don't know
There's
who
something
Wade
about
Clemens
terrorist
is.
Lasers that just it completely disappeared. It disappeared. His spine is gone. He's a puddle of jello on the floor, just slorpening at Hassan's schmeat.
You can't just fucking openly take money from a charity. That kind of destroys your reputation. You gotta hide it in the fine print.
It's a
like
phase guy, okay.
Kind of like IDEBS and Anissa were doing this time.
I mean, dude, he was planning, from my perspective, in my opinion, he was planning on taking 34% of the revenue every single year, every single time he was going to do this. Every single time. And try to get away with it. He got away with it until now that they accidentally slipped up that he was doing it. He got away with it for the second one. Also, bro thought he was the completionist. He couldn't even get away with scamming people once, in my opinion.
There's a bunch of reasons for that. It was the first time, so they obviously didn't know how much it would make. And the second time, when they had a loss, they also realized that, oh, we gotta make sure only the charity takes the hit and we get that guaranteed amount of money, right? The
That's
problem is transparency.
awful.
They are secretly taking a cut without actually being open about it. And it's also wrong to call this like a full-fledged charity event because it's kind of like a side thing. It's an event so that
It wasn't even a charity event if the charity didn't make any money. If the charity didn't make any fucking money, then it's not a charity event.
millionaires can make even more money,
Yep.
and charity is like a
Yep.
side thing that they're
Yep.
using
Yep.
to promote
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Also, I just
He's right. He's completely correct. That's exactly what's happening. He's using charity as a shield to protect himself from criticism, and B, a reason to get YouTubers into the event. Because every YouTuber that joins a charity event gets a PR boost. So it's A competition to other boxing events. B, it's a way to build up his brand and reputation. C, it's a way to get other big YouTubers involved because, hey, PR boost. And it also protects him from criticism. And then he just sneakily slurps around some money, and he sneaks in some 34% of the income. That's not just super sus. I would consider that a scam, in my opinion.
find it interesting. Ludwig will never talk about any drama. He specifically quit drama so that he wouldn't get into any controversy, right? Because
Yep.
Hassan is obviously being absolutely torched right now, and
Yep, you're welcome. Happy to help.
people are going to ask him to cover it, and he doesn't want to talk about his Lord and Savior, the guy whose pee-pee is in his mouth, Hassan, right? You'd actually find more backbone at a jellyfish convention. I just think he chose
That's
to
pretty
talk
funny.
about this specifically. But anyways, after this, he talks about how charity is a business, and he
Dude, no. There's no way it gets worse. There's no way it gets worse.
gives like the dumbest
It can always
example
get
ever
worse.
for it.
I feel like people get real bad faith or virtue signally when it comes to charity stuff. Yeah, maybe grandstandy. I don't know the exact word, but I feel like when the word charity is hit, people are like, heavens, and
What?
everyone acts like every act of charity needs to be some higher than thou act that is selfless.
The whole point of charity is a selfless act.
Is he retarded?
You're making money or
And
you're doing
maybe I'm
something.
cynical, but
You're very cynical. The whole point of a charity is to do something that's not for you. The whole point of it is that you are trying to help other people. That's the point of a charity. It's not meant to make you money. It's meant to help people.
But I think that's dumb. And I think charities.
I give 20% of all the income that I make to charity, and I don't glaze myself doing it. All right? Just letting you know. I do that. Okay? Again, I'm not sure.
Although I will state that some people have been using charity as a way to do write-offs. Like they'll say, "Oh, I sent this much money to charity, ergo it's a tax write-off." That's how they save money instead of paying an absorbent amount in taxes, especially if they're considered the top 1% making 6 figures or more, which is the 1%.
Showing receipts because I don't actually give a shit if you believe me or not. But I do that. And yes, I do it because I think it's a good thing to do, and for many other reasons. But it is absolutely mind-boggling to me that you think that most people give charity purely for personal gain. So why you mad, bro? Why you mad?
Also understand that that's dumb. And most incredibly successful charities understand that it's a business and things need to be.
Charity is a business? What is even going on? Like, this is the worst take of.
That's the one thing I can agree about is that charity is technically a business, but it's a write-off business. But they're for good causes. Most of them I want to believe are. There are some that say they're for good causes, but they're really not. They pocket the money and don't give the money to anybody, like Gerard Butler. No, not Gerard Butler. Whoever the fuck the completionist is. You know, he talked about how he set up this whole charity event where he was going to donate money to a cause that involved helping try and find a cure for a disease that took his mother's life. But apparently they never donated anything until he was caught. So his charity was a business in the sense that he was trying to pocket himself money. Him and his family are pocketing money. But there are businesses there are like charities out there, like the Red Cross. That's an actual charitable organization. That is without a doubt a non-business organization. The Army Surplus is kind of like a business. Goodwill is is a business, but they're also charity organizations. So there's a bit of yes and no to what he's saying.
Of all time.
Able to operate.
Ludwig.
God damn it.
Stop talking about drama. Your opinions are always bad. Just play your video games. You're an entertaining streamer, okay? It's just to glaze the far left retards. It's every time just to glaze the far left retards every single time. Ludwig,
You will be held to a higher and higher soon impossible to maintain ethical standard by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you.
Not just one time, but consistently many times. And the only way to do that is if it doesn't burn a bunch of money along the way. So if you're doing an annual event, but you lose $100,000 doing it, even if you raise $50 million for charity,
right?
You can't do that forever because you're losing money.
No. What is going on?
The whole point of a charity is to give money away.
On his event, and
not give it away. Give it to the organization.
When he was really doing it to make money.
The whole point of a charity is to make money for an organization or a I can't think of the word. We'll just go with organization. Like cancer research, research into curing other diseases. Like, for me, it would have to be, like, my organizations that if I was to start a charity organization, it would be Research Cancer, because my uncle and my father both died from cancer. My aunt is currently fighting cancer. And I would also have to make either a separate organization to combat multiple sclerosis, because I have multiple sclerosis, and thankfully mine is not the ever expanding one where if I get a new lesion somewhere and something pops up, it doesn't heal, and then I just get more and more later on as life goes on, and next thing you know, I eventually just die from the complications from it. Mine is, I have them, they heal, but if I get more, it takes longer for that one to heal. So that's a positive for me. It's still not good, especially because my MS loves to attack my eyes. I've gone blind in my eyes several times. And I don't know what blindness is for other people who go blind, but for me, it's like I'm staring into a fog. The money I would be making if I was to set up a charity organization for finding cures for those, every penny that somebody donated to me for that cause, saying, hey, I'm donating $5 for your cause, cool. All $5 that was sent to me is going to go to that cause. That's how I would do it.
It's a terrible
Money has to come from somewhere.
Oh,
No one's saying you're not allowed to make money. No one's saying it's illegal to make money, okay? That's not the argument. That's not the argument. Like, I feel like I'm having an aneurysm listening to this guy talk. Bro, I'm starting to get really suspicious of every charity event that Ludwig ever did. I feel like Ludwig is kind of dropping little hints, dropping little tiddlywinks that perhaps maybe his charity events that he threw were kind of business moves, right? A charity is a business, guys. Oh, God.
my God. Ludwig, if a charity event raises $50 million and takes $100K, and most importantly, he took
100K. If his charity event made $50 million,
Oh, well, that's not even
I would
34%.
have been walking away with 34% of that. Okay? He would.
Let's do the math, because if he took only $1 million, that's it's not a lot. So let's do 50 million. He would have walked away with $17 million. That's 16 million more than like the 1 million. That's still
Would have
bad.
been walking away with $17 million. Is that a business?
tells
Oh.
everybody.
I
He
don't
did
care
the
what they're
math.
determined by the IRS. This is crazy.
I'm taking $100K. Not a single soul is going to complain about that. Nobody will care because $100K is
Yeah, because if he took 100K, let's do that. 50 million. That's really small. 50 million times. I think it's like 0.001. Okay, not 001. Hang on, I'm doing math. That is 0.2%. If he took 0.2% of $50 million, that would be $100,000. Less than 8%. It is a 20th of a percent is what he would take to go from 50 million to $100,000.
nothing.
That's a lot of money for $100,000, but that percentage is like insanely small.
Compared to $50 million. You know what is a significant amount? 34% going to items and Anissa, and then there's another like 20% going to the fighters and whatever, and then the amount going to charity ends up being much less than the people thought. 34% is a very big amount to not be perfectly clear about. Also, what a horrible example. If you raise 50 million in 1 year, that is absolutely amazing, and I don't think
Yes,
anybody cares
that'll be
if you can't do
incredible.
another charity event after that. Just do regular events after that. I think your job is done at that point. 50 million, you've raised more than most people do in a lifetime. Dude,
Yeah.
I was expecting
No, dude, that's crazy. I'm still in shock that he actually said that. Like, yeah, dude, obviously. Oh my God, I'm like actually in shock. Yes, you're right. People don't always have good motives when they do charity events, but there's like a level on top of that of not being transparent and then taking a fuck ton of money.
some good arguments here, but I can't expect much from a guy who's latched onto Hassan Piker's nuts.
True.
I thought Idubbbz was the only one sucking on it, but apparently Ludwig's doing a 2-for-1 special.
No, they were.
I know quite a few YouTubers who have banked on Hassan's support. I don't remember their names. The podcast I can't remember, but it has Connor Sea Dog, and then I think there's a few others as well. Like they kind of bank off of his success.
They were all there. One was doing the rim job, the other one was blowing him. You got Anissa on the balls, and you got Ludwig on the shaft.
Here. And may I remind
Idubbbz watching in the corner.
everyone, if you didn't know, Ludwig has a commentary channel called Mogul Mail, where he made a
Had a commentary channel.
video calling out Hassan
Hang on. Mogul Mail. When was the last time this one had any posts? Because it still exists. 5 months. Okay, that's the channel that basically has died off.
Hassan, right? For the most brain dead take. He said streaming is like harder.
Dude, I'm so happy that we're talking about this because I think that it's important for people to remember how spineless this man is. And I like his content, but he is goddamn spineless. He might be the biggest pussy in the commentary sphere. Well, until he left. So, yeah, Idubs. Hassan made a take saying that streaming is harder than a 9-to-5 job. Ludwig said streaming's not harder than a 9-to-5 job. Hassan went on a stream. Hassan was like, I can't believe Ludwig made a video criticizing me. And Ludwig was like, is Hassan mad? And then deleted his own video because he was afraid to piss off the cum guzzler.
Or like more mentally draining than a 9-to-5. And then he got a lot of backlash for like the dumbest out of touch take ever. And then Ludwig commented on that, you know, as you do as a commentary channel. And then Hassan saw his video with the most lukewarm, mild, middle of the road take and got mad about it. And then Ludwig deleted it because he's a spineless piece of shit. And then he re-recorded it. And then he re-uploaded it
without the criticism.
And he pretended that nothing had changed. Pretended it was like the same video.
That's
everybody in the comments.
That's embarrassing.
Knew, okay, this guy just changed the entire. He changed his entire opinion just to appease Hassan.
Yep.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired.
Right.
But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the same way that 9 hours of streaming.
Yeah, this guy's insufferable with everything he does. He's evolved from complaining about streaming as a career, and now he complains about how not enough Jewish babies were murdered. So he's evolved over time, for sure, for real, for real.
Absolutely will.
Now he supports terrorists.
Streamer myself for almost 6 years now on how hard it really is. I'm kidding. I would look. I just.
Oh God! It's just literally using someone who you're friends with, like being maliciously clipped out of context to be like, I'm actually one of the good content creators. It doesn't fucking.
He's such a pussy. He's such a pussy.
If you have to claim you're one of the good content creators, you're probably a scumbag.
Matter that he showed the context. It's just a way to just.
He clipped me out of context. Also, it doesn't matter that he showed the context.
Literally farm off the fucking drama.
You should call Hassan and apologize. Why is Hassan mad?
No.
What did I do?
No,
What did I do?
no.
Because my mogul mail?
Is Hassan mad? Hassan's mad.
I feel like everything I said was fine. Well, I mean,
Good Lord.
that's the deal. I'll just pull him out of the thumbnail, and then I feel like it doesn't really matter much, right?
And so Ludwig didn't. He changed the thumbnail of the video to cut out Hassan so that people would notice, and then he deleted the whole video, and then he re-uploaded it with a different take. Whipped, baby.
He just changed the thumbnail
Majorly
like he said
whipped.
he might do. He took down the entire original video and remade it. He then lied and said the real reason was because the video was not performing well.
That's not true. It wasn't performing well because he removed the.
Boo-hoo. I have been making videos and streaming since 2011. And I still post and stream, even though I've never been successful.
Thumbnail of the video.
I took the video down. And the reason.
Starring a six.
Son of a... How many fucking ads are on this thing?
reason I took it down is because we had a great sponsor on it. But the great sponsor wasn't getting great views.
But the reason why it wasn't getting great views is because you removed the thumbnail of the video, so no one wanted to watch a video with no thumbnail. So then you deleted it and re-uploaded it with a different opinion.
This new video, he defends Hassan for that previous cringe clip, like, ad nauseum.
Now, let's give the full context of what he's saying there, because at the surface level, that sentence, a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you.
Like, that was the most embarrassing.
This is humiliating. It's actually humiliating. This is like a humiliation ritual. The entire fucking far left cabal. This is like the shit you see in Hollywood, where they make people walk onto the Oscars stage naked. Kanye West did this with his wife, bringing his wife out naked onto
John
stage.
Cena walked
Like,
out
they
naked
do
with
this
only
stuff.
the
It's insane. This is like the
envelope
incredible
around his
Twitter
nuts.
LA influencer scene. These people are pathetic. They're pathetic and spineless, and they're all gonna get cooked and find out.
Thing ever. And honestly, like, Ludwig calling anybody else a virtue signaler is crazy, bro. Anyways, as Miguel responded,
you would just take the 1.3
Well,
mil.
no, because it was there were two separate funds, right? And so, like, the fund that they make for profit and the fund that they raise for charity, these are separate funds, and Ian even confirmed that.
1.3 mil is a lot of money, bro. That's hella bread.
Not really, not for a big event like that. I mean, whenever you have a huge event like that and you have 100 people on payroll and you have tons of creators, only making $1.3 million isn't enough money. Like,
okay, Asmongold is being way too good faith here, and in my opinion, it's...
Oh, I'll never be good faith. I'm going to call it like I see it. If it came out that the organization didn't make a penny, so 1.3 million didn't go to the charity. So you're a fucking moron.
Very disappointing. Because I think Asmongold sometimes he treats people too well. Sometimes the retards deserve to be called retards. Ludwig ran charity events. Ludwig knows $1.3 million is not a lot of money. He absolutely knows that. Okay? Stop being so good faith and be real. Ludwig is spineless, and he's trying to defend the LA influencer, far-left, retard, woke stratosphere of terrorist supporters. Ludwig knows because he's run these events, and he's made millions through these events. Nah, dude.
you could have done 50 other things that would have made way more money than that.
Hassan could raise $1 million on a stream, all right?
Yeah, and it was clear that they had a ton of people. There was Moist Critical, who has like well over 10 million subscribers. Like, hang on, let me pull it up. I haven't seen a video by Charlie in a while. He's got 16 million subscribers. And his most recent video has him covered in blood. I don't know why I'm closing it. Let's... I can only do like what's recent. iDubbbz has 7 million. Making 1.3 million, excuse me, for a charity event when there are people, like, between him and Charlie, that event, I don't know how long ago it was, but based on right now standards, there was they had well over 20 million followers. And if even 10% of that donated $1, let's do the math. That's already more than what the donations, the amount of money that was made for that event was. That's $2 million. That's $700,000 more, $800,000 more, however much money they made, which is between 1.2 and 1.3 million. If 10% of all of their followers donated $1, that would have been $2 million.
Right? A stream with absolutely zero prep time, zero cost, no ring, no fighters, no event. He could just turn his stream on, stream for 5 hours, and make $1 million for charity. Okay? Like, this is insanity. This is Asmongold's plan. He takes people at their best faith and still destroys them, opening the door for Nux to ask bless them. Yeah, I don't think there's this 1-2 combo, all right?
I mean, honestly, like, that's the truth. And anybody who knows business knows that. I mean,
yes,
you're ignoring the context of the first one that was hella successful.
It wasn't.
So,
well, but isn't this also...
It's not successful if the charity didn't make any money.
So ignoring the context of this...
Because if the whole event was a charity making money, and the charity made no money, it's not successful.
Second one
that was hella not successful. The fact that they went like $200,000 in debt.
Hella unsuccessful. Why is it that you're doing a third one if the second one didn't make any money?
And I guess, do you guys consider that a scam?
Yes, it's misleading. If you think money is going towards a charity, you should have a separate fund where money is raised from a charity that is separate from the event costs. You effectively took all these people's time and you misused it because you
made them think that they were contributing to something good.
Time was being spent allocating the money towards. If people are buying something and they think their money is going to something, and then it doesn't at least mostly go to that. If they had known that their money would not go to these charities and it would go completely to paying off the event first, would they have still bought the tickets? I think less people would buy tickets.
Okay, that's a good point. If people...
He is spitting facts. There was zero transparency. This shit's a scam. Unbelievable, in my opinion. Dude, there was no transparency. Everyone thought the money was going to charity. It turns out that the money wasn't going to charity in the second one because they ended up being literally in the red. And then it turned out that they were also taking 34% cut, allegedly. Like, dude, what are we even talking about? Also, brand new, hot off the press news, Twitch banned the VTuber Lucy Pyre. What did I get banned for? Apparently it was for showing hips. Twitch.
This is why I don't do Twitch anymore. Because if they are banning VTubers for showing their hips, and she literally posts, what the fuck did I get banned for? She doesn't even know what she got banned for. She just got banned. Twitch is not a good platform. I'm not a fan of YouTube either because honestly, nobody really comes to YouTube to watch streams, but I can't get Kick going because it doesn't want to work. And I don't know any other streaming platform that I could stream on. So I came to YouTube thinking that this is probably going to be the only place that I can stream because I'm not going to support Twitch for this bullshit where they're going to ban VTubers because their model shows hips.
Banned a VTuber for showing hips. They still have terrorists. Oh my god, it's brutal. All right.
But my problem is also, if there are people like, I don't know if Nux streams on YouTube or if he streams on Twitch, but if he's streaming on Twitch, he's still outwardly helping promote Twitch. I wasn't big on Twitch. I only had about 200 followers, but I sacrificed all 200 followers so I could have a clean conscience. I do not trust Twitch. I do not like Twitch. Because if they're willing to let somebody stay on the platform, ban them on a day they don't stream, and then bring them back the next day when they do stream, while they're actively promoting violence and bullshit, but ban a VTuber for an unspecified amount of time because her model shows too much hip, I got a fucking problem with that.
Let's go, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Frick yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yup, that's just a fact. It's unreal to see this shit happening.
People knew that their money isn't directly going to charity, less people would buy tickets. In my opinion, that is the scam. When you call it a charity event, when people buy a ticket, they think that that money is going to charity, but instead it's going to iDubbbz and Anissa. It's just not a good faith thing to do.
You really do have to look at the fine print. The fine print doesn't matter to me because the reason why it's in the fine print is because they don't want people to read it. That's why it's so small. So if your general message communicates one idea and the fine print contextualizes that idea and diminishes it, you are actively, again, working to mislead people.
Need to be able to operate not just one time, but consistently.
Yeah, but the problem is that if you're a business, here's the thing, right? Is that if your charity is a is a business first and a charity second, and people find out about that, don't be surprised when less people want to donate. And the issue is that their business model wasn't effective.
He is completely and utterly correct. Yep, 100%.
And then because of their ineffective business model, they decided to put in a clause that allowed them to keep making money, even if...
It's shocking that this needs to be explained. You see, the thing is, when I heard about this 34% shit literally yesterday, when I heard about this, and I even talked about it briefly, I didn't even need to explain why it was a scam, in my opinion. I didn't need to even explain that, because I thought only a real retard, demented, lobotomized cumsock for Hassan Piker's orbit would actually think that it wasn't. I am...
The only thing about me is this is that I don't think this charity event had anything to do with Hassan. This is all iDubbbz and then Ludwig trying to defend it of, oh, they needed to make money. The money was supposed to go to the charity event was supposed to go to a charity. Specifically, a charity to help find a cure for kids with cancer. Not a cent should have gone into iDubbbz and his girl's pocket. Not a cent should have gone in there.
Shocked that Ludwig decided to put his balls on the chopping block for this one and be like, are we really calling this a scam? They could have scammed people for more money. Charity is just business, am I right?
If their business model didn't deliver in the way that it was supposed to, because that's what happened last time. So they basically knew that the event might not make money because that's what happened in Creator Clash 2.
True.
And so they locked in and secured money for themselves for Creator Clash 3.
Yeah.
Yep, that is exactly it. They wanted to make sure that
I want to figure out who was all a part of Creator Clash. And look up how many viewers they normally pull in. Can I just see the fucking picture? That's not tiny as shit. Okay, see the problem is this doesn't have any names, and I only recognize 2 people, iDubbbz and Aaron. I don't recognize anybody else. Okay, so do I have a zoom feature? I don't. Okay, so Myth, isn't Myth like he's like an OG, like a Fortnite big guy? Starkiller, don't know him. Dad, I can't read what it is. Hang on, let me just save. Nope, never mind. Okay, yeah. He's an OG, but I don't think he still pulls in as many viewers. Can I get like a full-blown picture of who's all here? The fuck? I'm just trying to see the picture. Because I want to look up these individuals, like content creators, figure out how big they are, how many followers, subscribers, you name it, they have. And figure out why this event made no money. You're not going to be helpful at fucking all. Okay, this is Creator Clash 2. Trying to figure out... I know that was 2023. That's a fantasy lineup. I don't care about a fantasy lineup. I want the real lineup. With a big fucking picture that I can fucking read. Of course there was an issue. Okay. Why is that still Instagram? This was supposed to take me to X. Okay, fuck it. Alright, so I don't know who Dad is, so we're going to have to skip him. Let's look up Starkiller. I don't know if that's a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. Starkiller has...
Hey guys.
Shut up, I don't care. He's got 106,000 subscribers. He's not that big. Okay, Myth. I think he's a Twitch streamer. But he's got almost 4.5 million subs. Then we have Hundar. So we're gonna start doing some fucking math here. So okay. Guessing he's someone else. I'm not. What is going on? And it's gone. Oh my god, it's because my webcam's in the way. Jesus. Okay, he works. Wait, hang on. He worked for Rooster Teeth. This is an H3H3. So he does not independently have a channel. He's just a friend of a friend of a friend. Okay, so I can't use him. Then there's Mika. Oh my god. Doesn't this guy also go by... Yeah, Keith. Okay. But I say, I recognize this guy from AVGN. So he calls himself Dad. He's got 471,000. Who else do we have? Epic Mealtime. Okay, that's what it was. William Haynes. It doesn't say how many. Okay, this is going to take me to his YouTube channel. It is. He's got 164,000. They're not picking like these big ones. I don't even think Epic Mealtimes has 1 million anymore. Yeah, he's only got 274,000. Well, it's now Harley Morenston. But what about if it still exists? Unless that was Epic Mealtimes. If that channel still exists. It does. That one had 6.7 million. But when was the last video? How many views does it have? 6 months ago, 25,000 views. So not really pushing a lot there. But he's an OG YouTuber. Then we have this chick who apparently worked for Rooster Teeth. Myth, I already looked at him. Marisha Ray. She's a voice actress. Aaron Hansen. He's got 2.87 million. For Ego Raptor, if we were to look at, say, Game Grumps, they're at 9,000 videos. That has well over almost 5.5 million. So I'm going to do that plus Game Grumps for people who know him from Game Grumps. Jarvis Johnson, I don't know who that is, but he's got 4 million. He's also on Twitch too, because he has 161,000 followers on Twitch. Whoever this is, a chess player. Doesn't really tell me anything. Whoever this is, she's got 5 million. Now, no, I can't click all of them. An actual WWE wrestler, iDubbbz, who, as I said, I think I already put him on here. I didn't. It doesn't even have a combined. We're just gonna do that. And I can't look at all of these. Wow, he's got the most of all of them. That is 40 million. From all the ones I could find, 40 million followers, subscribers. And the fact that they were only able to make... They weren't even able to make any money is what is absolutely insane. They could not make money. If they ended up in the red with over 40 million followers between all the ones that I could find, that's bad. That is very bad.
That any losses are the charity's losses and not theirs. Which, in my opinion...
Let me just... I'm not even sure if it was this one. So basically, if this one... Again, I'm not sure, because they said they didn't make any money, but if they made 1.3 million in the first one, basically, it required all of their viewers to spend about... No, my math is not right. Ugh, fuck, hold on. Yeah. About 30 cents a person, I think is what it is. 30 cents a person to get that 1.3 million.
Is the scummiest shit ever. Also, it's coming from Mr. Empathy and Mrs. Soul-Sucking Dementor here. I don't know. These goddamn multi-millionaires are so obsessed with making more money. How much is enough? You greedy mother flippers. And then people like Ludwig are like, well, actually, it's about like, bro, don't give me that bullshit. You guys have so much money. Like, you have so much money to put on several events without so much as touching your bank account. Like, you guys just don't know. You have no idea how rich these people actually are. And if you knew the amount of money they were making, and you see them like penny pinching over this type of shit, you would lose your mind. Like, whatever.
No, it's brutal, and I really think it's indefensible. It's absolutely indefensible. Mullet.
It is, but I think the richer you become, at least for certain people, the more penny pinching you get. Some of the billionaires that people complain about, they penny pinch for the most part. Mark Zuckerberg, love him or hate him, he penny pinches. He doesn't live in as far as I know, he doesn't live in a mansion. He lives in a modest home. And there was this, I don't know if it's Warren Buffett or a different billionaire, but before he died. I think this billionaire died. I don't remember who it is, but before he died, while he was alive, he was a billionaire. But he drove the same car he drove in high school. Didn't get a new one. It was the same one, so it was like a 50, 60 something beater that was basically had hundreds of thousands of miles on it. He had coupons for everything. He couponed at McDonald's. He penny pinched the fuck out of everything because he wanted to save money. Some of these people, they make so much money, they're like, I don't want to spend it. Now, some of these billionaires, they know that they make a shitload of money, so they just spend. And it's like, I'm not worried. I could spend $1 million a day and not have to worry about it until I'm like 200 years old.
Man over here is not cooking. He is sitting in the cuck chair, and he is, in my opinion, really fucking up.
But I completely neglected to explain. But if you're going for a charity, you shouldn't be trying to make money. You should be there to build up money for a cause, and all of that money goes to a cause.
In
Not
every
you.
possible way. Dude, I thought supporting terrorists was bad. I thought stabbing your friend in the back was bad. Also running a scam? Like, what is even happening out here?
Whatever you think they make, multiply it by like 5 to 10. My charity event needs to break even, guys, or I can't do it again. Like, then just put on a regular event and go make money like a greedy piece of shit you are, okay? Stop crying and pretending it's for charity.
It's all a grift. It's a grift. The woke virtue signal mind is all a grift. People are slowly learning. I feel like people are not really good at pattern recognition. People are like, well, a lot of these woke virtue signaler guys are all grifters. But it absolutely has nothing to do with the ideology. It's just a lot of individuals that are doing these crazy grift decisions. It's not like there's some inherent flaw with this entire socialist terrorist supporting ideology that's cancerous. No, of course not. No.
It is for your wallet, your views, and your PR, okay?
Let's be real here. Hassan is a grifter socialist. We all know that. He is grifting off a war in the Middle East to make millions, okay? How fucked up is that? Right? Then you got Denims, who made a GoFundMe for a lawsuit against somebody that she contributed to harass, right? You got Ian, who's out here sucking the same knob, running charity events where he's allegedly taking 34% of the money without telling people in advance. Like, these are griftards to the highest degree.
Okay, charity is a side thing for you guys. And the funniest thing about these charity events, who the heck is donating the money? It is your viewers who are working a 9 to 5. It's just hilarious. The money is raised by people working paycheck to paycheck, and the multimillionaires are out here complaining like, I don't make enough money to do another event. Like, and
a lot of people don't know this, but when Ian actually originally pitched his event, he pitched Creator Clash as an alternative to the greedy boxing matches. He said, people used to be all greedy when they made boxing matches, unlike
and
me,
then he's
I am
pocketing
not greedy
34% of the
when I make boxing matches
income?
because we're doing it for charity, not for money. That was literally how he originally pitched his event.
Is even if you don't break even, right, you take a loss in the event, you get more viewers and more attention in the long run, okay? And then you end up making that money back anyways, right? So the fact that they want an immediate profit as well is just ridiculous to me. Anyways, Items and Anissa scumbags, and Ludwig is stupid for defending this. Now, somebody pointed out Anissa's tweets on Reddit. Anissa stated that they took no salary for Creator Clash. Then what the frig is the 34%? No, I have enough money to realize no one needs more than what I have, and I'm perfectly okay with going to others to enjoy safety and comfort. It's people who don't stop. Where me and Ian are at are the problem. This is what causes scarcity. Me and Ian aren't rolling. No.
No, I have enough money to realize that no
I
one
have
needs
enough money,
more.
but then I take
We
34%.
didn't take a salary in our
Bullshit.
charity project. What about the 34%?
No way she had like my take, like, oh, multi-millionaires trying to make even more money, and screwing over a charity event is bad. Wow. Me and Ian aren't rolling in money. We didn't take a salary on our year-long charity project because we don't need to have excess. Others can and should have it. It does us no good. Now, I guess they were referring to the previous Creator Clash or whatever, and their views changed or something like that, but I just find it funny, like these hypocritical tweets that come out like, oh, we shouldn't earn any more money. We're already rich enough. And then
So
it's like,
true,
oh, I'm taking
Queen.
34%. Like, gosh.
Yeah, but sneakily behind the scenes, it's all been for PR. Dude. iDubbbz has been
So
on
fucked.
an apology tour for the last 6 years. He said the N-word 10 years ago, and ever since then, he's been going around sucking the meat of the most progressive, woke, fucking bullshit, virtue signally LA douchebags he possibly could. He's doing charity events where he's pocketing money. He's glazing leftist progressive people that happen to support terrorists. And that's literally been this humiliation ritual that he's been on. A lot of people are not understanding that this is the pathetic, buck-broken mind that we're dealing with. I go too hard in my videos sometimes, I feel like. I should be nicer. I feel like I should be nicer to the people I criticize. Items, you have a lot of empathy. Have some empathy for yourself and find God immediately.
Shut up. Also, you guys have like forever tainted charity events now. Now everybody's gonna be like super hypercritical of any charity event going on, and annoy the hell out
They've
of the
already been
people
hypercritical
organizing
about a lot
even
of
if
them.
they have like good intentions.
Because word's been coming
Nixon
up.
responded on Instagram.
Really made me mad about boxing events in the past.
Pause the wrong one. A lot of people recently, especially like the last 10 years, have been very critical about charity events overall because it seems as though more than 50% of them aren't actually donating to a cause. They claim to be charity events, and then the people who will run the charity events, I put that in air quotes, pocket the money.
Oh my god, this is the clip I was talking about. It made me so mad that people unboxing it, they used to make money from it, unlike us. We do it for charity. As they sit next to their favorite socialist grifter, douchebag, piece of shit, terrorist supporting Diddy party going fuck.
It's rich assholes betting their money to make money to like have people that are struggling to like make ends meet and pay rent watch them do it, and then they'll go home and like have a lot of money.
And the fighters are exploited too, like usually.
I think what really made me mad about boxing events in the past is that it's rich assholes betting their money to make money.
Wow, it's rich a-holes exploiting people.
Wow, just like they were all doing. They're literally all exactly that. The entire squad. And you think Hassan's any different? Sitting there and crying from his socialist mansion?
Ow, who would do that? Guys, I am loving this series so much. Everything I ever thought in my head completely turned out to be correct.
He's literally right. He's literally right. Listen. God, I thank you every day for the downfall of my enemies. You are literally doing so much good to me. It's glorious. How do we keep...
I haven't hit the point where I have enemies yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if some video later on I may get people to fucking hate me.
Now, Harley, one of the main fighters who pulled out...
Dude, I love that he made his background look like Hassan's.
Also responded, talking about it was weird how the new Creator Clash owners exposed Anissa and iDubbbz.
So that's not outlandish, but I thought it was pretty crazy that Creator Clash shared it. Made me feel like maybe they got maybe there's bad blood going on.
That was 1,000% a sneak diss. There is no other way to interpret that. They knew it was going to cause a shitstorm. They went completely out of their way to mention it. Here, let me pull it up.
That's a really hard question.
Shut up. God, I hate her.
I know someone's gonna make money, obviously, but because of all the bad vibes around the event, they have to kind of explain more things and be transparent about more things. So I'm just curious, like, how much does Aaron make from Creator Clash 3?
Sure, yeah, I think that's a totally fair. I think you're right. I think full transparency here is needed. Frankly, I'm surprised that they even want to do this. I feel like
it is shocking. It is shocking.
There's no chance in hell this succeeds.
I think also you have to realize I think Harley is an absolute legend, by the way. I think this is important to note. Harley's a Jewish guy, as far as I'm aware, and they turned this boxing match into Israel-Palestine, the movie. All right? I don't think he wanted to be anywhere near any of that. He did this because he wanted to do some actual boxing for charity. It's insane.
Harley's an OG, like, big-time YouTuber. Epic Meal Times was, like, big on, like, 2000.
Exactly how much is going to charity. And I can't believe I have to say this, but if you have nothing to hide, just tell people. It's not that hard. And as I said, this event is completely failing unless, like, Markiplier or Jacksepticeye gets involved. That's the only way to turn this around. They literally, like, command small countries, so they can do live streams and raise a shit ton of money and get a lot of attention. But unless they're
I haven't seen Mark or Jack
of this event. And I love how all this started because iDubbbz decided to make the content cop. Moving on to BB No Money, Hassan, and Asmongold drama. BB No Money censored Asmongold in his latest music video featuring OTK. At the time of recording, I was unaware.
I love how Markiplier actually called out this BB No Money guy. I covered that in my last video.
Of a certain individual's ethical beliefs. As a result, I've chosen to censor whose values I do not support. And basically throughout this music video, Asmongold is censored with like this lizard or whatever. Now BB No Money also tweeted out spread love and positivity.
Yeah. While you actively
here we have this picture.
Spread love and positivity while you actively censor somebody who you don't support that you allowed to be in the music video. Fucking idiot.
I just find it crazy that people feel pressured to distance themselves from Asmongold. Meanwhile, supporting Hassan, who is an open terrorist supporting freak. Spread love and positivity, guys. Also, just a bit of lore here. BB No Money said his favorite streamer was Asmongold, and
I love this. BB No Backbone destroyed his entire career over this grift. Again, you gotta realize how correct I am. It's the entire grifter, socialist, woke, progressive, fucking bullshit, LA, influencer, cock circle. They're all coming around, sucking each other's farts, and making believe they give a shit about anything, but it's all a grift. They're progressive, they are posturing retards, and I am just always right about this. It's crazy how correct I am.
He got his face put on his chest. So I don't know, selling out your friend like this is just not cool. I feel like people are so spineless these days, man. I kind of understand why he did it. He wanted his music video to do well, but it's the Streisand effect 101. Everyone now knows about it. Everyone is mad about it. His video has more dislikes than likes now.
Yep.
It's just sad.
Yep, I actually just covered this in my, this is like my latest video at the time of this stream. I literally just covered this. Yeah, dude has been grifting for a while. He made these tweets. Guys, we should throw bricks at transphobic people. Like, dude, come on. Miss me with all this grifting bullshit. All these people sitting there morally superior, they all end up exposed. The whole house of cards collapses. Like, dude, it's so funny how this shit happens.
Now, Asmongold responded in like the most gracious way ever.
I don't have any, there's no ill will or any sort of like negativity about it. I just think that he doesn't want to be involved with my politics, and it was like from kind of a long time ago. And so yeah, well, I don't know. I think that in...
Yep, so lame indeed. He's a grifting loser. He's okay with Hassan. He's not okay with Asmongold. Like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck? What a loser.
Most of the cases, people don't want to be heavy involved with like politics
He looks
one way
so
or another,
uncomfortable
right? Honestly, I felt
in that
bad
video.
about this whole situation because, like, you know, we recorded the video, everybody came out, and they weren't sure if they were going to use the video or not. Because, like, I would feel bad about wasting his time and everybody else's time if, like, they feel like it's going to make them look bad or whatever. I like Baby
Asmon
No
looks
Money. I don't
so
have any ill will
uncomfortable.
towards him. I thought he's a great guy. I've
They're
talked to him
in
multiple
all that
times.
footage.
If he doesn't want to promote the kind of content that I do in my videos, that's his professional decision.
Yeah, and he ended up Streisand affecting and everyone went to Asmongold anyway.
And that's...
I mentioned this in my last video, but I'll say it again. I did the same thing. I was backstabbed, and it was shitty in the past. And, yeah, absolutely. And I had the same exact take as Asmongold. I respect anyone that doesn't want to associate with me. If you don't want to associate with me, that's totally fine. It's obviously shitty and whatever. But from an onlooker perspective, it's an incredibly shitty thing to do. What Baby No Money did to this guy. Baby No Balls really fucking cooked himself with this one, and the mob will eat him.
It's his career. I'm not going to expect people to put their career on the line.
Wow, what a horrible guy, man. Giving him complete grace and forgiveness, even though he basically just backstabbed him.
Yeah,
here.
what a
Now,
demon.
the funniest thing is, if people just saw Asmon in that video, they wouldn't actually care, because he's not as extreme as like Hassan, a terrorist supporter, right? Where you will be questioned for even supporting him or being associated with him. So by censoring Asmon, he actually just brought more attention to it and basically made a political statement. Anyways, Tectone also responded.
Like, this Baby No Backbone shit is insane. And I know he did this shit.
I only know about Tectone because I'm a veteran, so I watch the Unsubscribed podcast, and I know that he said that he called Frogan, or whatever the hell her name is, he called her fat, and he got banned for like a month on Twitch, and then he just said fuck it, went to YouTube and picked up like 20,000 followers, and Twitch comment and like messaged him and said, hey, we're gonna unban you now. It's like, interesting, because I'm bringing in people to watch. Like, that's fucking insane.
To avoid the heat from the woke mob? Well, congratulations. This is what happens when you...
Wow, 54,000 dislikes to 50,000 likes.
You're going to virtue signal, and you're going to moral grandstand, and you're going to appeal to this mob, and appeal to this mob, and appeal to this mob, and the moment that you slip up one time...
Dude, I love how he literally read my tweet off verbatim on his stream. So based.
That you slip up one time, the same mob that you're pandering to is going to fucking consume you.
Yeah, they're
and
going to go
why
after
he
you.
did this? It's because of this. How is brother gonna say that?
I think it's a good example of an Ouroboros. It's the snake that's eating itself. That's what they're doing, is they're eating themselves.
I don't like this guy's political views, and then hang out with the most radicalized streamer on the entire fucking platform. Hassan has not apologized for calling for the death of a senator.
Twice. He did that twice. 2 times he incited violence to senators. Now listen, I'm just saying.
As I said like an hour ago in the stream, that is why I stopped streaming on Twitch. Because if Hassan can scream about about a senator needing to be killed, that's literally what he said. He said, you will kill this senator if you want this to happen. Basically advocating for violence. He gets banned for 1 day on a day he doesn't stream. When VTubers like myself, specifically the female ones, or the guys who like to have female models, they make their VTubers too sexy, and then they pull the model up too high, and you get a shot of hip, and then bam, permabanned. Like, the 2-tier system is fucking bullshit.
I'm just saying. If I had a nickel for every time Assad Piker would incite his audience to murder a senator of the United States, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice.
Calling Asmongold a
Dude, Pegasus just messaged me on Discord. That's crazy.
mother, calling many content creators pedophiles and rapists.
Hi, I am one of the slandered.
Nobody received an.
I mean, dude, you don't understand. This dude goes, this is his whole thing. He goes, he hears about me, and he's like, oh, neo-Nazi.
Hide their identities. A lot of them come from like marginalized backgrounds, right? And now you got like fucking lolicon Nazi VTubers.
He doesn't stop crying about me. It's too good. It's too good, man. You can't even make this shit up. It's too good. How does he keep going? How does he keep becoming more and more?
I find it weird to call somebody who's
Everybody
Jewish
would
a
know.
Nazi.
How do people in this world not be miserable with these lame motherfuckers that take up our whole society? Everybody's a pussy these days. Everybody's a bitch. It's a competition for who can get offended the most by the least inflammatory statement.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think the first time I truly experienced this situation was about 15 years ago, when I saw on like YouTube or Facebook somebody posted a picture of a shirt that was being sold at Target. It was a woman's shirt, and on it said trophy. And there was this whole backlash from people, like women specifically, screaming about how I'm nobody's trophy. It could be older, like there could be situations older than that, but that's the first one I saw. And they set up a whole petition to get signatures and force Target to pull that product. And it succeeded, and it's never stopped. Because people realized, oh, if I can bitch enough and get enough people behind my cause, I can force change like this. And it's not even a change that's really necessary. You don't like the shirt, don't fucking buy it. Okay? Nobody fucking cares. But they were able to scrounge up enough people to bitch and moan about that fucking shirt that it got pulled from shelves. And then in my opinion, it's escalated ever since. It's how we got cancel culture. People getting in trouble for things they said 2 decades ago. That's why people, it's why there's celebrities who aren't making content anymore. Be it movies, TV shows, voice acting, video game stuff, YouTubing, streaming, you name it. They said something 2 decades ago. It gets pulled back up and it's like, oh, you said this in March of 2005. Okay, who the fuck cares? That was 20 years ago. Well, because you said this 20 years ago, I think you should no longer be allowed to enjoy the fruits of your hard work.
That's it. But don't worry, guys. The Arab to Jew racist tier list? Nah, dude, that was okay. That was fine.
Being a honest man in 2025. You are not allowed to speak your mind. And all these people who you deem as good people are fraudulent, because the only thing that you know is the illusion they put up to their stream.
He's right.
To their content.
He's right.
I mean, this is completely true.
He's completely correct about everything you just said. Yep.
I think the reason SlopTubers even are so popular is because we actually say what everybody's actually thinking.
Yeah, they would call me, they would call Nux, Tectone, the guys from the Unsubscribed podcast, they would call all of us like the bad guys because we say it how it is. We don't sugarcoat it. But in reality, you would want us as a friend because we won't sugarcoat shit.
Thinking, right? Because people are so afraid to say anything because everybody's so concerned with climbing the social ladder or concerned with what will people think about me? Nobody's going to be my friend. What is everyone going to say? What if they don't like me? Like, you know what I say? Fuck you. I don't really care if you don't.
He's so correct. 100%. Yeah, that's why that's why people watch my videos, because I actually say what I think, and I'm not scared of the fucking mob coming after me and harassing me. Like, I literally just say what I think. Yes, and that includes every once in.
The only people I'm afraid to hurt are those close to me. If I don't fucking know you, I don't care how you feel. The only people I care about are my friends and my family. I don't give a shit about anybody else.
in a while saying, yeah, Trump is incredibly based with something he did. Oh, you supported Trump, but he's doing a transgender genocide. Or whatever the fuck freaking retards think that Trump is doing. Like, dude, I don't give a shit, man. I just say what I think is true, what I think is right, and I don't care. And I think that's why people like my videos. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a retard. But they try so hard, and they do it.
Left me gifts
that react to our content.
Yeah, this is the video I was talking about. This is the unsubscribed podcast that I was watching. And he was commenting about how he got banned for calling Frogan fat, which, boo-hoo.
Oh,
yeah. Well, he got banned for that, and she never got banned from the fact that she believes that, like, she cheered that there were soldiers who died in the Middle East, like, American soldiers who died in the Middle East.
Look like you know what a VTuber is.
The only reason I know is because we have VTubers that react to our content.
Oh, who?
I don't know.
Who's the fox lady?
Kirsch?
I think Remy is one of them. I don't know the
Kitsuneru.
You heard in the background?
Who? Nux. I don't actually know that. Oh yeah, Nux. Nux is the fucking man, by the way. Shout out to Nux.
Shout out to Tectone. All of us. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's my goat. Wow.
Like me.
Yeah, Nux doesn't give a fuck, so he gets respect
You know,
from the
I
unsubscribed podcast, which is fair.
Also.
Like, I have a lot of respect for Nux because he doesn't give a fuck.
My morals and my values. If you don't agree with that, get the hell out. I don't care. I'm not here to have 100% of people like me. I'll just stick with my own crew over here.
Right.
And I just want to give my opinions, say what I think, and not actually bend to anybody and turn into jellyfish Ludwig. Now,
True. The entire circle of fucking freaks. Yeah, no, of course, link him in the description as always. I like Pegasus videos for real. Yeah, Ludwig clip. That was one of the worst clips I've ever seen in my entire life. Actually defending this shit because he could have scammed people worse. That's insane. But yeah, anyway, definitely subscribe.
Shouldn't have scammed
and
anybody
I
at
will see
all.
you in the future video. Currently, Hassan Piker is 540% fucked.
Okay, so Hassan's 540. This was posted 7 hours ago, 8 hours ago, something like that. It's the most recent video. There it is, the lawsuits. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Give me a fucking second.
Up and ready to go. He name dropped the series, bro.
Now saying that he wants to sue me for slander for calling him a pedophile.
Makes sense. I actually spoke to lawyers about it.
Because if you have no actual proof and you're saying it, you can ruin his life. So yeah, that is slander.
And they said I have a pretty good case, actually. And the more times he repeats this, the more evidence I actually get. Because you see, here's the thing about defamation. You need to prove damages when it comes to defamation. Now, it's really hard to prove damages when your career is actually doing super well. I am actually doing super well career-wise. So, it's hard to prove damages. So, the only damages I actually could do, I can actually use in court is reputational damage. So every time he calls me a pedophile, I keep all that shit, obviously. Every time there's a viral tweet calling me a pedophile, it can be traced back to Hassan. So obviously I'm going to keep all that shit. So, hey, we keep gathering that. We keep going. We'll see. I'm discussing.
I don't know how the effects of my VTuber model, like that star that pops up, I don't know how that's there.
Case would open him up to discovery.
I am not scared of discovery literally at all. Hassan is just lying again. He has invented an entire narrative in his head why I didn't actually go through with a lawsuit.
And I feel like his hard drive would be so criminal.
Right, he's saying that my hard drives would be criminal. That's, again, insinuating I'm a pedophile. It's fucked up that this guy is slandering me when this guy went to Diddy parties and might have had sex with children there. He also went to brothels in Germany.
I didn't know that.
That was raided. And found out that they also
I knew about the brothel, though. I knew about the brothel.
He's gone to a lot of places where he had sex with maybe children. Kind of wild.
That he might actually go and face criminal repercussions in the aftermath of.
Yeah, I'm not facing any criminal repercussions, but by opening up to discovery when I sue Hassan, is he fucking retarded? Unbelievable projection. But what the holy projection is going on with this guy? There is no evidence to anything against me, by the way, just to be clear. He's just out there losing his shit, terrified out of his mind.
Said situation, you know, but someone basically was quote retweeting it, being like, how the fuck are you, how are people seriously, oh, here it is, I can't take any VTubers.
Oh, guys, look, it's me, guys. I'm on the Hassan Piker stream where he slanders me on the daily.
Seriously, bro, you are a cartoon character. Imagine if Bugs Bunny was defending Israel and being a pedophile.
I'm really glad you brought this up, Hassan, because you see, by the fact that you like this tweet, it means that you are actually promoting this narrative as well. It means that you are also, you have contributed to the 70+ thousand people that like this tweet, which means that you are continually involved in the narrative of pushing me a pedophile. So yes, you are contributing to my reputational harm through this. Unfortunately for me, my career is literally the best it's ever been. It's not easy. Operation Let Him Speak is truly working really, really hard.
I will admit, Nux is kind of like he's got like a double-headed blade kind of situation where he's getting good content because he's making things, he's saying things that people can respect him for, and he's doing, and he's speaking his mind. But then there's also that negative stigma where he's got people like in Hassan's group coming to hate watch him, which is unfortunate, but it's a thing.
Bro, I am a cartoon character defending Israel out here, and somehow even I, according to Hassan, and even I have more credibility than you. Do you have any idea how insane this is? And you gotta realize, this account is called Free Luigi. You're taking Free Luigi seriously. Free Luigi over here, fighting on behalf of an alleged murderer. Dude, how do you are such a fucking fraud. Oh my god. So good. So good.
Lolicon Zionist VTuber says he's looking into lawsuits, learns about how Discovery works, immediately stops looking.
None of that happened. That's just not true at all. I never said this. It's not even in the clip that he's showing, which is the best part. It's just completely untrue.
It's a false narrative made in imagination land, apparently.
Had taken place.
Now look at how he pauses the video. This is so fucking good.
To make incredibly slanderous statements about me.
I don't remember him making any slanderous statements. You call me a pedophile. That's slander, Mr. Hassan. He had to hear that. He actually had to hear that. I literally spoke to him and he heard, and he did that on stream. I mean, we know he's a fan of the How Fucked Is Hassan Piker franchise, but I didn't know he actually watched my content on stream. What a swell guy.
Chances are there's going to be another video like in the next like few hours that's going to say Hassan is 550% fucked. Oh, I'm sorry. Done. He's not going to put fucked in the thumbnail, but he'll say fucked in the video, which I can believe it. This has been going on for, God, 3 months now? Minimum?
In case we're
also aren't.
Right, so he pauses that, and then he's like, oh shit, we have to come up with something else to attack him for. We have to come up with something else. All right, the pedophile strategy did not work. But what else can we call him out for?
VTuber's supposed to have, like, cool voices.
His voice is cringe. Oh, it's so good, bro. It's so good. He tries.
Man, I don't have a cool voice. My voice is trash. I'll be honest about it. I don't think I could be a voice actor. But, no. Some VTubers, they use their high-pitched voice. Like Iron Mouse, she has a very high-pitched voice. Nux, I'll be honest, he's got a bit of a nasally voice, but you don't need to have a cool voice. I mean, yes, some voice actors, like, shit. I only know him as Kagi. I can't remember what his character, what his model's name is. Then there's Taka from Team 4-Star. He's got a VTuber model. Amelie Monarch, she's got a model. All of them are voice actors. But you don't need to be a voice actor to have to be a VTuber, because being a VTuber is, oh, I'm taking this is a character that I think is that I designed that I think is cool. Like, look at me, I'm a plague jester. Plague doctors and jesters smashed together. I just thought that idea was cool. And I just want, like, I'm ugly as shit, so I think my model is a lot better than me. So a lot of people do that for that. Some people do it because they want to have, like, they want to maintain their anonymity behind, like, a model, but still give something for people to look at. Like that's what Nux does. He wants his anonymity as a person, so he has this model.
So hard. What an unbelievable fucking retard. It's so good. He just gives me free content like every single day. How does this even happen? Oh my god. And the irony of him talking about voices. Now, remember when I said that everything he says is a projection? I think that him calling other people pedophiles is very likely a projection because he actually might have had sex with children at Diddy parties and shit. But now, the irony is, and this is going to make you absolutely lose your mind. Lose your mind. Alright, let me show you an old clip of Hassan. Alright, this is an old clip of Hassan talking versus how he talks now.
Well, at least she's like spreading unintentionally or intentionally spreading leftist ideas. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's bad. Welcome back to the Hasanabi channel. Now, some of you are probably wondering.
You probably took vocal training.
Back and forth going on online. About
Honestly, I think I need to take some vocal training.
Well-respected actor roles that does not translate on the female side at all. I would say Kathy Bates is like a good example, though. That's what I'm doing as well. All right, wait, hold on. Oh, are you gonna show me all the time as well on the Zoom call?
Oh.
Be honest, when you start steroids, so we can screen your wrist. Are my wrists gonna get thicker if I do steroids?
It's gonna get thicker.
I'll fucking do it, dude. I'll fucking do the damn
I'll
thing.
do it.
I'm actively critical of both parties. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about party affiliation. I care about like
This dude fucking calling me out.
It's clearly vocal training. Oh, yeah, look at that. Vocal lessons, it says right there. Of course, my shit's mirrored, but yeah, he went through vocal training. Honestly, I'm not going to hate on people who take vocal training. I honestly think I need to take some vocal training to get a better control and understanding of how my voice works. Maybe it'll do better. Hell, maybe I can become a voice actor one day. Maybe not. I'm almost 30.
His voice is also lame, and his voice is also lame.
I turned
Also,
29
voice
at the end of this month.
Like, dude, it is the funniest thing in the world. He is literally, everything he says is projection. Now I'm convinced that there's some crazy shit, by the way. Now I'm convinced there's some crazy shit on his hard drive, because every time he calls me out for something, I feel like he ends up getting exposed for the same thing, just worse. Now, I said, isn't this the Hassan Piker guy known for possibly having sex with children at brothels and ditty parties? Does this crying terrorist simp retard really think this daily Nux slander is gonna make me stop? He shouted out my fucking series, bro. He shouted out my series. Even the VTuber community's coming out on my behalf. Bro, if the VTuber community is defending me, you know you've done fucked up, bro. That's crazy. Stop talking about VTubing like you know anything about it, Mr. Underage Brothel Enjoyer. I went to a ditty party, but you're a lolicon. It's such a good day. It's such a good day. You ready, guys, for the shout out?
Like Hassan is 700% done now.
He literally said the thing. He said the thing. That's my goat. He said the thing. Hassan is literally 700% done now. Now, I felt like this is going to be the best way for me to respond to his slander.
I mean, like, hang on. Let me, 540. Here's 600 right now. 530 right here. Okay, he jumped from, wait, never mind, hold up. 520, 510, 500. Johnny Somali's 910 right here. Hassan 490. A lot of it's percentages. 480 here. Like, where is... there's 420 for Piker. 390 here. Jesus Christ. 365 here. 360 here. He's done a full circle fucked right there. 350. 320. 290. 270. 250. 200. That was 2 months ago. 160. 130. 120. 110. Like, did he start at 100 or did it gradually get to 100 and then he went past it? Okay, hang on. What was the last one I saw? 110 here 3 months ago. I think he started at 110. I don't see 100. But I do see him in this one. He's in this one. There it is. 100% done now. 4 months ago. 4 months ago to now, he's at 540. It's probably going to keep going. I would not be surprised. But think I'm going to end at least this part of the stream I'm gonna end the stream right now. I got stuff to do. But yeah, like what I saw, like this one mainly focused on fucking Ludwig and BB Nose and iDubbbz and all that. That's where a lot of that was. Hassan popped up occasionally every now and then, but it wasn't really a Hassan focused video. But I guarantee you, when 550 pops up in the next probably few hours to few days, I'll check it out. But that's